Hey everyone, it is Julie here with TipRanks, and welcome to another episode of our CEO Insights. Today I am joined by Kaan Terzioglu, who is the CEO of VEON. So, Kaan, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's great to be back, Julie. How are you?
We're doing well. Now, to dive into VEON, you guys operate across some of the most dynamic frontier markets from Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and Bangladesh. So, for investors who may be hearing about the company for the first time, how would you describe what VEON is and what makes it a compelling investment opportunity for those here in the US?
Julie, as you mentioned, we operate in 5 countries. 600 million people almost lives in these countries, and they are growth markets. People are still excited to consume more internet, more mobile, more social media, more entertainment. They are underserved. They are underserved significantly. They don't get proper financial services, entertainment services, healthcare services, and our business is very simple. We are a consumer and enterprise services company. We have 5 operators, which gives us a unique opportunity to acquire customers at a low cost, and then on top of that, build digital services. And that's what really makes me excited, because our financial services now reaches out almost 50 million people. Our entertainment businesses, ride-hailing businesses, e-commerce services are reaching out to over 150 million people. And in total, 1 out of 2 people in our markets are our customers. And
That
this
is
is really creating almost like a flywheel. You start with maybe providing a small end-to-end machine-to-machine SIM card to an electricity meter, which generates 62 cents ARPU. Then you move to a customer who has a old feature phone which uses your services only for voice, goes up to 92 cents ARPU. Then a customer using both data and connectivity from you, $2. Then a customer starts getting exciting. And we have a lot of those customers, and we will have a lot more in the future where they start consuming your digital services. $2 more for financial services, $3 more for entertainment services. If they're on your healthcare platforms, maybe a couple of million dollars more. And that opportunity really creates a flywheel for us to get more multiple customers with a potential to reach from $4 of ARPU to $11 of ARPU, and that growth is keeping our inspiration. This quarter, our digital services grew 53%. It's almost 27% of our total revenues. And our EBITDA from our digital services were up 66%. Our EBITDA from digital services is now 36%. It's profitable, it's cash generative, as actually it's more cash generative than our telecom business. And our telecom business growing at 7.6, which is twice as fast as our peers, telecommunication peers. So overall, I'm extremely happy. Our like-for-like growth for top line is 18%. Our EBITDA has grown again like-for-like for 15%, and we are raising our guidance again. So our guidance will be from 14 to 18% on the top line, and from 9 to 12% on EBITDA for the full year. And I'm so actually excited that this momentum will be creating a new type of a value creation opportunity for us. And we are going to be sharing our midterm plans with our investors. We are going to be doing on November 16 a capital markets day in New York, sharing them our midterm outlook for our business.
That is a lot of exciting growth to watch there. Now, you've been steering Beyond through some geopolitical challenges and a major transformation into a digital operator, moving away from just the traditional telecom company model. So, what does Beyond look like today compared to when you first took on the CEO role?
Look, we focus on what matters, and what matters is the customers. What our customers need, and especially in our markets where the service quality and availability and accessibility is very low, it gave us a unique opportunity. We have a company with a purpose and with clarity. Our purpose is a better life for all. And that means we have to be serving our customers in the way that they deserve, whether it's financial services, entertainment, healthcare, education, or enterprise services. And we call this digital operator. And actually, the name of our strategy comes from 1,440 minutes a day. We want to be relevant to our customers every single minute. And we would like to provide them meaningful digital services. We don't want to sell them raw data, number of gigabytes. That means nothing. That's the old telco that we are moving away from. And the new digital operator is an operator which is relevant to its customers every single minute with digital services, but also with what I call augmented intelligence. There is nothing artificial about artificial intelligence. It's the most wrongly named technology, but this technology is as important and impactful as the invention of fire and electricity. I'm not talking about, it's not another iteration of data or digital. This is as important as fire and electricity, and it's going to change our lives. But it's not, talking hypothetical things or philosophical things. It's about making a doctor a better doctor, a teacher a better teacher, providing services at a fraction of a cost. And that's why I named this technology as augmented intelligence, because it's all about augmenting human skills, competencies, capabilities. And I think when we do that, we will move away from even providing digital services to providing intelligence and making people a better version of themselves. And that's what makes me excited, because it's a unlimited growth opportunity, especially in markets with sovereign LLMs that we are developing in Kazakhstan, in Pakistan, in Ukraine, in Bangladesh. We will be able to provide low cost access to intelligence platforms that will make that vision a reality. The best doctor being in Dhaka, best teacher being in Islamabad, and the best farmer being in Ukraine, in a peaceful environment, growing its crops. That's what keeps us going. And I think, that's the biggest change that we will see in the industry.
Absolutely. And how do you think about geopolitical risk given the frontier markets in which VEON operates? What is your answer to US investors who believe this risk might be too high for them to make an investment?
It's true that yesterday's assumptions are no more applicable today, and this will continue. We have to learn, adapt, and manage our businesses in volatile environments. And, emerging markets, frontier markets is not new to us. And we know how to manage our risks, whether it's political, geopolitical, economic. And there are ways of doing business in markets where growth and volatility comes together. Frankly speaking, today's issues around volatility is not limited to emerging markets or frontier markets. So actually, we may have more experience in managing them than many others. And I think we have been doing a very good job. We have a very strong track record in terms of protecting our assets, growing our assets, and making sure that we create shareholder value with that.
Now, VEON's strategy is built around transforming its operators from traditional telecoms into those digital ecosystems. So, can you walk us through what that looks like in practice? What will markets like Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Bangladesh look like 5 years from now?
Look, I believe that our business 3 years from now will become a business where, we will still provide our foundational services of connectivity, but more than half of our business will come from digital financial services, will come from providing our customers entertainment platforms. And if I give you a couple of numbers, in Pakistan is a country of 240 million people. Every single year, almost additional 8 million people joins the population. And they are so underserved that maybe a fraction of them has a bank account. We have 60 million bank accounts in Pakistan. More than 27 million people uses our digital wallet. We issue 225,000 nano loans every single day. 225,000 nano loans every single day. And these loans are $18 loans, $20 loans, so that a taxi driver can fuel its tank. Maybe a housewife can buy some eggs, flour, and sugar, cook some cookies, and sells them. Small, but extremely important life changing funding. And we sell about 900,000 insurance policies a day. So we are the biggest financial services player. This is one aspect of our business. When it comes to entertainment platforms, Tamasha serves 30 million people. When there's a cricket game, the country stops, and Tamasha serves them the cricket game. And if you go to retail business, healthcare business, we just acquired Apna Clinic, which is actually an online healthcare platform, and we see how hungry our customers are providing and getting services because we can deliver them service at a fraction of a cost. More importantly, it's available versus being non-available. So it is a groundbreaking place, and we use this incredible advantage of having customers already who are acquired at very low costs, and we sell them one additional service at a fraction of a cost, making it affordable, making it accessible, and practically creating value to the customer.
That is great. Now, I want to talk about Kyivstar, which is Ukraine's largest telecommunications and digital operator. How has VEON supported Kyivstar during the war? And what have you learned there about the resilience of these digital operator models? And how does this influence how you think about VEON's other markets?
Julie, again, it's really a story that is worth telling because I believe there has not been an example of resilience compared to Kyivstar. And there has also not been an example of focusing on what matters, which is the customer and their needs. In a time of war, telecommunications becomes even more important. And that's why I will mention about all the digital services we do, which is extremely innovative. But I would like to start with one very basic, keeping people connected. Now, we are so open-minded that we have decided to connect our terrestrial networks in Ukraine with the satellite platforms, SpaceX. Today, our customers, whether they are on a covered area, or maybe they are in the front line, or maybe they are in a landmined area, they can have direct access with their regular telephones, smartphones, onto connecting to the satellites. We have just started also utilizing data service over this layer, and more than 6 million customers of Kyivstar has connected their phones through satellite networks directly. Now, this is groundbreaking because this is almost like, 40% of the total SpaceX customers who are using their direct to cell technology. We are committed to connecting people. And for that, if it requires connecting and integrating our terrestrial networks to satellite platforms, we will do that. If it requires putting batteries that would allow a base station to work 72 hours on stored energy, we will do that. If that requires, thousands of generators around the country, we will do that. But that's part of the connectivity, which is, the basic service we provide. But let me tell you, we do more than 600,000 taxi rides every day because we own a ride-hailing platform. We are the largest TV platform in the country. We provide 20 million people access to healthcare services through our company, Healthy. You do a appointment, you do an online consultation, doctor writes you a set of, medicines that you need to get. We operate a 1.3 billion gross merchandising value pharmaceutical platform where the customers actually can get their medicines and Uklon can deliver them to their home. So when you understand this type of a service level from healthcare to entertainment to mobility, this actually tells everything. Today I was looking to the numbers. We have 22 million customers in Ukraine. We have more than 5 million people who utilizes our healthcare services on a monthly basis. We have more than 4 million people who uses Uklon for their transportation needs. That tells me one thing. There is not a single Ukrainian today who is not our customer, whether in Ukraine or outside of Ukraine. I'm very proud of what our team has achieved in Ukraine despite very difficult conditions. We kept people connected, but we didn't stop there. We are helping to serve them in all the ways possible. We have lost people during this time, but we kept the country running.
That is incredible. That is really great to hear. And touching back on the Starlink data there in the Ukraine, is that Starlink partnership a Ukraine specific story, or does VEON intend on replicating this playbook in other markets?
We are already replicating it because we have seen the impact it has. Ukraine has a specific challenge. War is not something that you would see everywhere, but other countries have other challenges. Kazakhstan, the land of Kazakhstan is bigger than, I think, entire United States if you overlay the country's geography. And only 20 million people live there. How can you cover such a huge geography? There is one way, and it's through the satellite network. So that's also what we did there. We are about to launch the same service in Bangladesh, and this is our basically rule now that our customers needs to be connected every place, every time. Now, some government regulations are not really allowing this to happen. So we are working hard to tell the governments how important it is, whether terrestrial or satellite, there should be connectivity. And if this connectivity is done through national operators like us, there is nothing to worry about. It's actually same safety, same security, same rules, same service, and we are ready to take that responsibility.
Very good. Now, we briefly mentioned this before, but I want to dive a bit more into VEON's AI 1440 strategy. So, how is it different from other AI strategies of other digital operators?
First of all, I truly believe that uh, augmented intelligence is there for creating services for the customers. I know it's very easy to immediately dive into areas that, oh, I'm going to save money from customer service. We can do automate things. We can employ less people. Yes, those things are true, but it's not our priority. Of course, we will do it. Nobody wants to waste money, but our passion is around developing sovereign LLM models, making sure that we have an LLM model which is suitable for Pakistan in local language, either Urdu or Punjabi or Sindh, applying local cultural values and making sure that those models are made available to our customers so that if I'm a teacher, I can say, make me a super teacher. If I'm a doctor, I can say, make me a super doctor. We want to create superheroes out of our customers. And the only way to do that is to understand how augmented intelligence can make an impact on their lives. Whether it's a farmer or a small business owner or a doctor or a teacher or a lawyer, we are coming to make them super ones.
Now, on the topic of AI, VEON and Kyivstar are co developing a sovereign Ukrainian AI model with Ukraine's government. So, what makes VEON and Kyivstar the right partners here? And will this initiative be pursued in other markets as well?
First of all, it's an initiative that we are pursuing in every single market. I mentioned you that there is not a single Ukrainian in Ukraine or outside of Ukraine who is not a customer of Kyivstar or Uklon or Helsi or Tabletki. And, this practically is also a big responsibility. And we work hand in hand with the Ukrainian government in all the areas to make sure that people are connected, people are getting proper service, the government is getting proper service. And this was one of the areas that the Ukrainian government thought it is the right thing to do to work with us because we serve our customers. We have an incredible wealth of knowledge about their needs, and we are ready to invest in this particular area. And we are also working with world-class international companies who are specialized in sovereign LLM technologies. And that allows us to really bring the best technologies to the market, which is needed the most.
Now, if a retail investor watching this has never heard of VEON before today, what's the one thing that you want them to remember? And why should this be an investment opportunity that's on their radar?
Look, the world has, 7 billion people. We serve 10% of that population, which is still growing in countries where service is needed heavily. We are a growth company. And I think if you want to participate in the growth of emerging markets, we are the only player that is listed by two vehicles in NASDAQ. Kiev for Kyivstar and VEON for the 5 countries that we operate in. And this is not a traditional telecom company at all. This is growing with the digital services growth in financial services, healthcare, education, enterprise services, and AI. And we are here to create value for them.
And last but certainly not least, I want to touch on VEON's Q2 2026 performance. What are the main themes and lessons that were learned in this quarter, and how does it speak to the company's long-term performance and growth outlook?
So Q2 was a stellar quarter. We have grown our top line by 17%. Our EBITDA has grown 6.2%, but like for like, because we had some provision reversals last year, this time in Bangladesh, it has grown 15.4%. Our digital services is growing 53%, and now 27% of our business is coming from digital revenues. And what really excites me that it's a consistent performance across the board. All service lines are growing, all countries are growing. And our service lines being digital financial services, which is growing 45%. Our digital consumer services are growing almost triple digit, and our enterprise services growing 13%, and our traditional foundation, Telecom, growing 7.6%, twice as fast as benchmarks. So overall, I think Q2 is a stellar quarter, and that's what makes us excited about the rest of the year. We are raising our guidance 4 percentage points for top line, and now we are saying that we're gonna be growing, 14 to 18, and 2 percentage points for EBITDA. We will be growing 9 to 12. And I think this also keeps our excitement because we will be sharing our midterm value creation plans with our investors on November 16th, again in New York.
Well, congratulations on that incredible growth there. And I appreciate you sharing all these insights today. I think it's a really fascinating and exciting mission you guys are on with all those services. And I appreciate you chatting with us about them today.
Thank you very much, Julie. Great to talk to you.
You as well. And for all of our viewers, if you want to learn more, you can head on over to the VEON website, which we'll have linked down below. And you can learn more about the VEON stock as well over on TipRanks. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.